Welcome to Bedtime Lore. Tonight we are traveling back into the vast and mysterious land of Hyrule. This story takes place after Link has freed two of the divine beasts. The battles have been difficult, and the road ahead is still long, but for one night, Link rests. This is not a night of danger or urgency. It is a night of quiet reflection under the stars. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the calm of Hyrule carry you away into sleep. The night air was cool and carried the faint scent of wildflowers. Link stood on a grassy hill that overlooked the vast kingdom below. From this high vantage point, he could see the faint, shimmering glow of Zora's domain in the distance, and further to the northwest, the shape of botw resting silently in the skies above Rito village. Both divine beasts, once hostile and uncontrollable, now stood quiet and free, their watchful presence a reminder of how far his journey had already taken him. He exhaled slowly, a breath he had not realized he was holding, and lowered himself to the ground. The grass was soft and cool beneath him. Fireflies danced lazily in the air, their tiny lights flickering in a gentle rhythm, as if in tune with the calm night itself. The sky stretched endlessly above him, painted with constellations so bright and clear that it almost felt as if he could reach up and touch them. For the first time in days, Link allowed his shoulders to relax. He placed his sword carefully at his side and rested his shield beside it. Tonight, there would be no battles. Tonight, the world could wait. His gaze drifted toward Hyrule Castle, its silhouette dark against the horizon. Even from this distance, the ominous red malice that surrounded it pulsed faintly, a reminder of the darkness that still awaited him. But there was no fear in his heart. Instead, there was resolve, tempered by the quiet certainty that he would face it when the time came. He leaned back and closed his eyes for a moment. Fragments of memory stirred in his mind, faint and fleeting. Zelda's voice echoed softly, almost like the whisper of the wind itself. He could see her determined gaze, the way she had stood before him with unwavering strength. Even after 100 years, her voice was a guiding light within the fog of his mind. Opening his eyes again, Link tilted his head back and looked at the stars. Each one seemed to shimmer with quiet purpose. He wondered if long ago he had stood here and looked at this same sky, perhaps with companions at his side. The memories were still fractured, but each piece that returned made him feel more like himself again. The hill was silent, but not empty. A rustling sound drew his attention. From the nearby tree line, a lone fox emerged, its fur glistening faintly beneath the moonlight. It stopped a short distance away, its sharp eyes studying him. For a brief moment, neither moved. Then, satisfied that Link was no threat, the fox lowered its head and disappeared into the tall grass once more. A faint smile touched Link's lips. Even in a world scarred by calamity, life endured. Reaching into his pouch, Link retrieved a simple bundle. Inside was a modest meal, roasted mushrooms and seared steak prepared earlier over a campfire. He ate slowly, savoring each bite. The taste was earthy and familiar, grounding him in the present moment. He had learned to find comfort in these small routines. They reminded him that even in a fractured world, there were still moments of peace to be found. When he finished eating, Link set the bundle aside and laid down fully on the grass. The sky above him stretched endlessly, and the moon was bright enough to cast a silver glow across the landscape. From here, the land of Hyrule looked almost peaceful, as though the scars of the past century had been softened by the quiet of the night. His thoughts drifted again, carried by the rhythm of the wind and the gentle hum of nocturnal insects. He thought of Mifa, of her gentle voice and the warmth in her eyes. A soft ache touched his chest, but it was not sorrow alone. It was something deeper, something that felt like gratitude. He remembered her words, her unwavering faith in him, and for a moment it was as if she were there, standing beside him under the stars. The grass swayed around him, brushing softly against his arms. The sound was almost musical, like a quiet lullaby played only for him. Link's breathing slowed, his body sinking deeper into the comfort of the earth beneath him. He reached for his Sheikah slate and opened the map, its soft blue glow illuminating his face. His finger traced the paths he had traveled, from the icy cliffs of Hebra to the shimmering waterfalls of Zora's domain, to the wind-swept skies of Rito village. Each place was a step closer, not just to defeating Calamity Ganon, but to rediscovering himself. He closed the slate and let the darkness of the night return. Above him, the constellations seemed brighter than ever. He remembered something Impa had told him in Kakariko village, that the stars were the silent witnesses of every triumph and every tragedy in Hyrule's long history. Tonight they seemed to be watching him, and for the first time in a long time, he felt at peace under their gaze. Another breeze passed over the hill, carrying with it the faint scent of wildflowers and the distant sound of an owl calling from the forest below. Link's eyelids grew heavier. The tension in his muscles eased, replaced by a deep, quiet calm. He allowed himself to simply breathe, to exist in this moment without thought of what came next. His mind wandered one last time to Zelda. Somewhere, deep within Hyrule Castle, she was waiting. He imagined her looking out at this same sky, her heart holding fast to hope. He whispered into the night, so softly that only the wind could hear. "I will not fail you." The words were a promise, quiet but unshakable. The stars above shimmered, and for a fleeting moment, it almost felt as if the world itself had heard him. The fox returned once more, pausing at the edge of the grass to watch him. Then, just as quietly as it came, it vanished back into the trees. Link's eyes closed completely now. His breathing slowed to the steady rhythm of sleep. The hilltop was silent, but warm with life. The divine beasts in the distance stood like guardians, and the grass cradled him like a soft blanket. Tomorrow, he would travel to the blazing slopes of Death Mountain. He would walk the sun-baked sands of the Gerudo Desert. He would fight. He would endure. He would save Hyrule. But not tonight. Tonight, there was only the quiet of the stars, the gentle breath of the wind, and the comforting hum of a world that, despite its scars, was still alive. And in that quiet, beneath the endless sky, Link rested.